I'm Chef Avi Shemtov, owner and executive chef at Simcoe Restaurant, the Chubby Chickpea Food Trucks, and Al Ash Barbecue. And at work, I'm always on the line cooking fast-paced meals for all of our guests. But for fun, what I really love to do is talk and eat, and talk and eat. And on today's episode of Party of Two, we go to Gyro and Kebab House in Norwood, Massachusetts, where I sit down with my buddy Shimi Angel, who's the hairstylist and owner at Salon Tel Aviv in Sharon. Tune in, and remember, hit that like and subscribe.
See,
Who's older, you or Ohad?
I'm a year older than him.
So you're his big brother?
Yeah.
Yep.
Me and Ohad used to fight so bad when we was young.
Who
Very
won?
good friends.
Who used to win?
Of course Ohad is strong.
Because he's big,
Yeah.
but you know what him and I talk about?
He have no problem to use his power.
You're tougher. Not tougher, I mean, Ohad's tough, very tough. But you're tough like
So.
on another level. You know, like I feel like when I look at like how you do things, like you don't care, like no matter what somebody says, you're gonna do it your way.
It's kind of true.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it took me to many places.
Yeah. Listen, life takes us many places.
I haven't got to the point that it's good for me.
Okay.
Let me just get it quiet.
I'm gonna tell you a funny story. My wife was telling me one of her friends gets her haircut from you.
Yeah.
And she was saying, she said like, oh, he always tells me exactly what he thinks.
Very
He's so
blunt,
rude
you
to me. And so her friend said to her, not my
Oh,
wife.
I'm gonna be nice to people.
I don't know. So my wife's friend said to her, so this is not my wife, but her friend's friend said to her,
do you like it?
why do you keep going?
Yeah.
And you know what she said? Because every time I go, everyone compliments my hair after. So she said, so he must be doing something right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like sometimes.
So my concept is that if you don't do it right,
Yep.
you might not know about it, but somehow you'll get a feedback. You won't get busy. People won't come to you. You won't get a positive review.
Sure.
You won't get positive feedback from people. Let's say you're an idiot and you don't notice that people tell you they don't like it, but also you won't expand.
Yep.
When you do something, it's spread. I never said it to anyone. I cut people's hair in the backyard because they're afraid to go to the salon.
Yep.
You know, I don't charge them nothing. I go cut their hair. Many times I do it for free if it's an elderly person. If not, I do the same price as they go to the salon.
Yep.
People tell me you're an idiot, and I tell them, nah, just move on, man. Do the right thing for the right person.
And
I don't know if it's a good business platform, but
I think it is. Because people say.
look, it came to you, and we're talking about it.
Yep.
I never knew that I never told them go say it.
And people say that. People say like, somebody will write like, oh, where can I get my hair cut? And people say, you need to go see Shimi.
You need.
He's been so good to
But
me.
they use
He's
the
this
word
kind
you
of
need.
person.
You see,
Right.
not gonna just go there.
Right. How old were you when you came to America?
I came in age 21, 22.
So as soon as you finished the army?
Yeah.
Same with my dad. As soon as he was finished with the army, got on an airplane, came to America.
And what did he come?
What year?
You know why?
Oh. So that's what I was going to ask you. So my father came because.
You don't mind?
No, please.
This food is good.
Yeah, it's for us.
Right? It's a good food.
So he came. He came when as soon as he was done with the army because one of his brothers was. Two of his brothers were very successful. They had construction companies. And my father was sort of expected to just like go to work for his brothers.
He wanted to prove
and he wanted to do himself. Yeah, he wanted his own life.
Yeah,
so
I can see where it's come from.
he came to America and he washed dishes.
Yeah.
Until he could afford to buy his first place. He opened a pizza place.
Yeah.
It was very successful, so he got rid of it, took the money, opened a falafel place.
Yeah.
Before anybody was selling falafel, you know?
The trick
and then
is
he kept flipping.
The trick is to have it inside of you. When you know that you have, like I said before, a good product. If you know that you came up with a good platform, goodwill, you're willing to do the best thing.
Yep.
And you've done that before. You have some idea of, say, cooking. You're willing to do the best one, and you're willing to change yourself.
Sure.
And you're willing to make changes.
Yep.
I think it's a very good recipe for success if you're also willing to put the effort too. So then we have the three. We have the effort, and we have the will, and we have the tiny bit of an experience. You know, maybe let's say your grandma taught you or your dad taught you. I think it's three things, because then we forget about the natural talent. If somebody have a natural talent, it might be the fifth one. The fourth point. Then you can be a rock star on the same thing. But say you don't have a natural talent, but you still have a will, and you have effort. You're gonna put a lot of effort from yourself, and you have some experience. Because you know, if I do wanna go cooking tomorrow, maybe I can do it as good as I can do other things.
Sure.
So if you have all of those three,
you had a few different businesses.
few.
So the thing that's funny is, so there's a book somebody gave me years and years ago called The E-Myth. It's like the entrepreneur's myth.
Yeah.
And basically the book opens up with a woman who's sitting on the floor of her bakery she opened, and she's crying. And the place that she opened was called All About Pies. And the guy who's a business consultant who wrote the book, he says what she didn't know was her business has nothing to do with pies. It has to do with accounting and customer service.
What does it matter? What is the product?
Right, exactly.
Well, I call it product.
Right.
It can be a haircut.
Right,
it can
service,
be a software.
Yeah.
You know, it can
And
be
so
many things.
that's what's funny is, I think the
You
part
need to know the platform of the way of doing it.
And I think the part you're hitting on is the effort. So people come to me and they say all the time, like, hey, what's the hardest part about the restaurant business?
I think it's the will.
It's working hard.
It's,
like, what do you mean?
It's
Like,
the working there.
Yeah,
yes.
like if you
the will,
think, right?
Then
if you
wake up in the morning and say, I'm not doing it anymore.
Right.
You need to work on your head.
Right.
So
if you could make this, you're going to be able to sell the first one, and that person will buy a second one. But then you have to make 100 of them. Then you have to make 1,000 of them. Then you have to make all 1,000 of them.
And
really
then you
good.
have to deal with the clients who come to the door and telling you,
right,
a bitch, because she missed the sauce.
Right, exactly.
It has nothing to do with making the product.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And you have to be able to you remember to order the cheese.
Listen,
and you
my
remember
advice
to,
to people who are gonna watch this video is to be consistent, to be positive, and to be true to yourself. Don't go try to change the world if you don't give a shit, okay? And don't try to come up with the best meal if it's not your thing. Because most likely someone will do it better than you, and you'll have to compete with him eventually.
Right.
And when he have the passion and the effort and the stuff, you're just gonna fall behind it. So when it comes to a business, if it's a business site, think what's your competitor too, but don't do it if you don't have a will for it. And be positive, be real with yourself.
And your passion is hair?
Today, yes.
I mean, it looks like it. From where I sit,
yes,
it's like you're
I'm
really...
very much enjoying. My story is I was trying to do many things, and I always say I was trying because I never think that I did a great success with everything I've done.
So I opened the Chubby Chippy in 2010.
Yeah.
In June, right? And when I opened, it was me and my father and a couple kids, and we did pretty good. And then come September, I went back to working in real estate, and I let my employees run the place. And I was sitting in a lot in December on Christmas Day with my wife on the beach, and I was checking my Yelp reviews, and they were so bad, Shimi. And I said to my
Your
wife,
reviews?
Yeah. And I said to my wife, I said, I have two choices: close, or spend all my time there. So for 18 months, 18 months, we were not open for 1 minute, and we were open 7 days a week without me in the building. Because I said to myself, you have to either do it right or don't do it. You know, and everything got better, and the reviews got better, and it got better, and then I was able to train people.
So what's nice about your story is that you're willing to make a change.
Yeah.
You're willing to face the problem.
You have to be honest with yourself,
And you have to look at the mirror and to tell yourself that's what it is. Many people don't even go read the review and do that. It's good.
I still read my reviews every day. Because the truth is, like, and that's what I tell all my employees. I tell them, listen, you don't have to agree with the person who wrote it, but admit they're being honest. They're giving you their honest opinion. And at the end of the day, you know, like you were saying at the beginning, there's a balance. Like, look, if some lady came into my restaurant and said she hated the hummus. And I'm like, listen, we sell the most thing that we sell is hummus. Everybody else loves it. I can't change it for one person, right? But she was being honest. She didn't like the hummus. Okay, so you're not my customer. I get it. But if somebody comes to me and says, hey, listen, the fried chicken is too salty, then I go and eat a piece of fried chicken. And if I go, oh, it's too salty, I address how we made it. And I go, guys, we got to fix it. Like, if you're not honest with yourself, you'll fail. And it'll be too late by the time you look up and realize
this is the time to tell you, remind you that there is an 80-20 rule. You cannot, you know, today, this morning, I swear I can find it on my Facebook, on my scroll. I saw a post, Albert Einstein went to a school, and he's speaking in front of all of the students, and he's starting to write 2 + 2 = 4, whatever. And then he write down a chart of 10 numbers, 2 times 2 times 2 times that, and then at the end, 9 times 10 equal. He made a mistake. He did 90 + 1 = 90. And everybody was telling him, Albert, this is a mistake. And he told him, guys, 9 question was right, and 1 of them was wrong, and that's all you coming up to me, just about one thing. You wouldn't come and tell me 9 things was right.
Right.
a person that never made a mistake is a person who never tried. And if you never made a mistake, it's because you never tried.
Yep.
And you never did nothing.
Agreed.
That's how the post was done. And I think it's very encouraging to tell people, if you try, you make a mistake.
Right.
And the more mistake you make, that's because you're doing massive things.
Right. But see, that's what's so frustrating sometimes about this, about, you know, young people who are impatient, is that they'll be like, well, why don't, I've been doing this for 10 minutes, why don't I have it yet?
Yes.
Because it's hard. Listen,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes people forget also about Angels. You know, you were involved when it opened. People forget how long it's been there.
Yeah.
You know?
For the first 3.5 years at
Yep.
Angels, I'm telling everyone, we didn't make any money out of
I
it.
know.
We didn't make nothing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you the truth. We didn't make nothing.
Yeah.
I remember I had eventually I opened a salon while Angel is still open.
Yep.
Angel is open for 4 years at that time, and I have a hair salon for the first year.
Yep.
And I'm having a client or two or few of them coming from Sharon, and I tell them, yeah, my brother and I, we open Angels Cafe, and they tell me, what's Angels? I never been there. Today it's hard to find people like that. But
Yeah.
back then it wasn't even a thing.
Right. I tell people all the time.
It gets to a point that you need to build yourself.
Yeah. It's a war of attrition. It's every year that you exist.
Yeah.
You get closer to success in the restaurant industry. You know, at the end of the day, if you make good food, this is true about salons too. This is true about every business. Like every person whose hair you do, that you do a good job, and they love you, they tell their friends.
Yeah.
So the first year you have 10 people, then you have 20 people, then you have 40 people, then you have 80 people.
Yes.
Food's the same way.
I believe in business, in that aspect, that there is something that's called critical mass.
Yep.
I believe that if you have 50 people, 100 people, 200 people,
Sure.
specific, I'm using those numbers, in a city, it's not a very big number.
Right.
Because it's spread and it's like it's evaporate. But when you go to 1,000 people, when you go to a certain number,
Yep.
you can literally get to a certain number.
Yep.
And it's also with bad reviews, by the way. When you have too many bad reviews, well, if you go to a business and you read 3 bad reviews, it's okay. But
Yeah.
certain number,
Agreed.
it will bother you.
Yep.
So I believe in something in my head, I call it critical mass.
Sure.
When you pass that point, you're in a golden way, you're in a path.
Yep.
I'm trying to be in a point now that I have so much positive review compared to the others that it will make no sense for a client to at least call us. And,
Yep.
and listen, the bigger person get, and it doesn't matter if it, with money, honestly, money can come later.
Yep.
The bigger person get, the more touch you have to do with things, the more chance of upsetting people, and at the same time, people fall in love with you and think that you're so great.
Do you know what my secret is when it comes to
Never
publicity?
stop, I assume.
Well, that's definitely part of it. But my real secret, and I think you actually already do this too, is I just decided 5-6 years ago,
Yeah.
I'm just going to be me. I'm going to always be
Okay,
me.
let's talk about that. How is it affect you? So how is you always want to be you affecting when you want to expand? Do you understand my question, kinda?
Yeah, I do. So the trick
How do
that
you
I
take?
learned
How
from
do you take?
people get tired of me talking about Dave Becker, but what I learned from Dave Becker, who owns 3 beautiful restaurants, I said to him once, when he only had one, but busy all the time for 20 years, and he stands in the front, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
And everything's perfect. And I said to him, how? And he said to me, he said,
Yeah, I understand
listen,
what you mean.
yeah, he said,
and I
if
understand
you,
what you're
if you
saying.
just
How?
want to be great yourself,
Nothing is perfect.
then make every decision yourself.
Yeah.
But if you want to grow,
Yeah.
find people that want to row the boat in the same direction as you,
Yeah.
and let them
Yeah.
be involved in where you're going.
Right.
Because at the end of the
Cool.
day, someday when you go to 5 Salon Tel Avivs and
Yeah.
they're all perfect, it's because Susan
I understand
loves
it.
this
I
one and
understand what
Tony
you're saying.
loves this
Right.
one. And so when you walk in there, someone once said to me about my staff, a person who worked for me,
Yeah.
who was kind of complaining. They said to me, you're good at finding people that will run through walls for you.
Yeah,
I said, I don't
that's what
have-
you need.
I said, I don't have anybody that will run through a wall
Yeah.
for me. I said, I'm good at finding people who
Yeah.
want to go in the same direction
Believe.
as me.
Yes,
and
believe in
so
your concept.
we're going there maybe for
Right,
different reasons.
right,
But
right.
Andy wants to go this way, and Chris wants to
Right.
go this way, and Matt wants to go this way.
First
so
of
let's
all,
get in the boat.
To make it
we'll
clear,
just go together.
every business wants to find people who want to go through wall with them
Sure.
if they believe in the same thing. Otherwise, they're going to go through wall and they're going to hurt your business.
Yep.
They're going to hurt the client or they're going.
And the thing about me
in a
is
nice way.
my staff
It's
knows.
very good to make people understand that what you believe is
Yep.
what they believe. It's very good.
And my staff knows that when it's time to go to war,
Yeah.
I'm the first one with a sword in my hand.
Right,
So like
right.
I'm supposed to be at South by Southwest
Right.
this weekend. I'm not going because we started getting busy at Simcha.
Yes,
And
yes.
I know I'll put them in a bad place. So I'm like, listen, I need to be on the line for now.
Yeah.
Because not because they need me,
Yeah.
but because it will make them uncomfortable. And I don't want to, they know I won't put them in a bad place. So if I
Yeah.
say to them, listen, I need you to go do this, they know like Av must believe in us, and he must believe he's putting us in okay, safe space.
Right. So next for you is to expand.
Yeah. I mean, right now it's not just about me. It's about like the company that we grew. So I have a COO now.
Yeah.
We sit down and I'm director of business development, and we sit down and we plan for the future. For me right now, I'm looking at the next 5 years. I'm like, I want to keep. If it's up to me, I'll cook at Simcha.
Yes.
All the time, and we want to grow concepts. Like the new concept is called hummus for hummus, and it's just hummus bowls, just bowls with toppings and
Israeli style.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, and
that's
so
very cool.
that's what I'm opening in Brighton and
maybe
Chestnut
in
Hill.
summer.
So I'm really honest with me.
Yeah, right.
I make mistakes. I do things that I sit back and go,
I'm very much like that. I'm very much. I actually I got paid for a. I went for a brainwash.
Oh,
have you heard about Landmark? So I have time that myself was not very comfortable with myself. My friend suggested me to go to a class. It's called it's called Landmark. They teach me concept that I could not avoid. Once you understand that concept, it's very basic. There is things that we know. There is things that we know that we don't know, and everything else is things that we don't know that we don't know.
Yes.
20 years ago, I had no idea that I'm going to open a salon.
Right.
And so on with you.
Yeah.
And the future, tomorrow, you don't know that tomorrow you're going to win the lottery.
Right.
If you would, many things.
Listen, if I win the lottery tomorrow morning,
yes,
you're going to be the first person I call.
Thank
it's
you.
going to be especially weird because I don't play the lottery. But
so you see, so how is it reflecting your life, your decision? First of all, always put this ahead of you, and I swear I do.
Okay.
When you say no to a decision, when you see haters, when you say no to something, I could say no to this interview.
Sure.
You just blocked a completely new option that you never knew about.
Right.
That's it, it's done.
Yeah.
I'm married, but I could meet my wife if I was single in that interview because she was sitting next to me, and it's just done. That path completely done. So whenever people make decision in their life, whatever decision it is, you want to do it, you don't want to do it, should I go do it, you should know that every time it's affected with the no or with a negative thing that doesn't reflect a future action, you just blocked a completely new chapter of that thing.
Sure.
The more big it is, the better it is for us, because we have more knowledge. See? So for example, this is the one thing that they teach me in class. And when there is things that you don't know, don't be rushed to make an assumption of a negative review that you're making from a client.
Right.
In the direct straight. Because there is a whole bunch of things that you don't know, really, that has effective with many things that truly have nothing to do. For example, you're making a great food. A client walked in and they're telling you, this is the worst food I ever made in my life.
Right.
Let's say. And you're very upset. This is the worst thing that ever happened to you. The very next day, a restaurant, how do you call those guys that review?
Reviewer, critic. Yeah.
Sure. Walk into and they're telling you, this is the best food I ever had in my life, and because of that, you became multimillionaire.
Sure.
How would you know that?
Right.
Now, your decision for that review person, first one, would affect the way that you serve food for the guy after.
Sure.
You could also close your restaurant.
Yeah.
Because you're I closed my salon after a bad haircut. That I knew that it's a haircut, I just lost I closed and I left home. Honestly, I want to go and jump in front of a truck. But you should always know that your decision will affect things that you have no idea how they are affecting them.
Yep.
And that's what motivates me.
Hey guys, it's Avi. Thanks so much for watching this episode. And if you don't mind, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit like, and then hit that bell for notifications. We appreciate your support on the channel.